conversation this time regarding a topic close to my heart, finance and banking, and specifically the underbanked in India. It's going to be a great one, this one. We're going to be speaking to Seema Prem, CEO and co-founder of FIA Global. First, though, we want to show you a short video to put this in context.
ଆମ ଘର ବିଶ୍ୱାସ ଶାସନ ମୋ ନାଁ ହେଉଛି କଳ୍ପତରୁ ପରିଡ଼ା ଆମର ଏଠି ବ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ଅବାଦିନ କରିଥିଲେ ଆମର ଟିକେ ସୁବିଧାରେ ଅଛୁ ଆଉ 8-10 କିଲୋମିଟର ବାଟ ଯାଉନୁ ଏଇଠି ସୁବିଧାରେ କିଛି ମିଳିଯାଉଛି
ମୁଁ ଫିଆ ଟେକ୍ନୋଲୋଜି ସର୍ଭିସ ତରଫରୁ ସିଏସପି ଭାବେ କାମ କରୁଛି ମୋର କଷ୍ଟମର ସଂଖ୍ୟା 2,500 ରୁ 3,000 ଭିତରେ ଡେଲି ଟ୍ରାଞ୍ଜାକ୍ସନ 70-80 ଭିତରେ ମୋର ହେଉଛି ମାସିକ ଦରମା 20,000 ଭିତରେ ଆସୁଛି ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ।
Please welcome to the stage Seema Prem. Thank you very much for joining us. Fantastic video there, Seema, to put all this in context. Obviously, we're going to be talking about machine learning and AI and the way that has factored in your business. But first, off the back of that video, just give us a sense of the journey of FIA Global. What caused you to set it up?
Yeah. So I was a student in MIT, and one of the projects that I was working on was low-income customers and how they are unbanked. And one particular sentence struck me, which was half the world is unbanked. So the sheer opportunity, of solving that problem presented itself. And we came runners-up in the MIT 100K entrepreneurship contest. That kind of gave me the encouragement to come back to India and start FIA. We are a decade-old company. We provide last-mile access to financial services in some of the remotest areas in South Asia, India, Nepal, and Bangladesh. We serve 50 million customers through our 30,000 banking outlets.
Extraordinary numbers. Now, one of the reasons, of course, that we've got you here today and we've got everyone in the room, the key reason is artificial intelligence. So talk to us a little bit how AI is embedded in your business model.
Yeah. So when we started off, we had rule-based algorithms. So before that, I'd just get into what our model is. We set up banking outlets on behalf of banks in some of the remote parts of country. The technology that rests there is a bank's technology, and unbanked can come in, open a bank account, and conduct transactions. What we have done is we've built a layer of technology over that keeps our systems real-time, predictive, and risk-optimized. Now, this becomes very important for us because sitting in our New Delhi office, we are actually able to monitor the performance and detect fraud at our 30,000 banking outlets. So initially we had rule-based algorithms, but over a period of time, we deal with tiny transactions and big data, $20, $30 transactions, 200,000, 300,000 transactions on a daily basis. So our rule-based algorithms had reached a performance plateau. And that's when we started experimenting with AI and machine learning. And what we realized was that our performance and efficiency of our business models just shot up. So we deal with public money, money of some of the most vulnerable and the poorest sections of society. So the models that we develop in detecting fraud, in preventing fraud, and even in minimizing fraud which has happened, they may not be very super cool, but they have tremendous transformative impact for the customers, our customers, and some people who need it the most. So seeing the success of this particular model, what we realized is there were so many use cases for actually embedding AI into various aspects of our business. And we have multiple AI models running in the company. AI for us is an enabler. It's not really integrated into the entire aspect of our organization yet. But we believe that our competitive edge would be when we are able to actually use it completely in our decision-making process.
You see it in every corner of your organization?
Yes, I can give you examples. So we have 65% of Indians do not get loans from a formal financial institution because they are credit invisible. And we want to solve the problem of exclusion. And that's when we came out with this alternate credit scoring model. So the model actually gives a financial identity to the credit invisible. Usually first-time borrowers, and often first-time borrowers are women. And we are able to now predict the creditworthy customers amongst the credit invisible, what's the loan amount to be given to them, and even the probability of default. We have also used it in recruitment, for example. Right now, we are building a model on right sourcing of our agents. So for us, the agent is an extremely critical aspect of our business model, and sourcing the agent right to the first time becomes very important for us. So our right sourcing algorithm now hopes to actually predict the performance of the agent and also whether the agent would commit fraud or not. So these are some various aspects of the business where we actually embedded AI.
Now, I heard you use the word experimentation a few minutes ago with regards to bringing AI into FIA, into your organization. Tell me a little bit about how that process went. How straightforward was it or not? What challenges did you come up against?
Yeah, so when we start, of course, I think one of the biggest challenges that we face as an organization and is still facing is access to skill sets. So over a period of times, as the models evolve, what we have seen is that the skill sets required to run these models become quite complex and costly. Also, AI skill sets are in hot demand. So during the Great Resignation, we as a company actually lost intelligence within the organization. So it's a constant challenge in order to get these skill sets. So we have come to value collaboration. So we now tying up with a range of AI startups in order to solve these problems for us. Besides this, what we've realized is that we run a very lean data science team. And that is not sufficient to meet our needs. We need to go beyond the non-IT workforce. So now we have AI business models, implementation of that actually embedded in the KPIs of the C and C-2 levels in the organization. We are also having a capacity development program where we are upskilling the non-IT workforce so that they don't have to depend upon these scarce data science engineers to solve their problems, and they become self-reliant in increasing the efficiency of their operations.
And before we go back to talk about the wider banking sector and how AI can play a part, just talk to me a little bit about AI experimentation and folding it into your business in India specifically, because I'm interested in that as a journalist that looks at the whole world. You hear often that geopolitically, Japan, South Korea, and India will be increasingly important in the AI race. Now, we all know India is technologically exceptionally advanced with some of the best engineers and scientists in the world. But how do you find it as a business owner in terms of bringing AI into your business? Do you find there is trust? Do you find there is skill there?
Yeah, so I think over the last decade, what we have seen is rapid strides in financial inclusion. So India has actually been at the forefront of financially including its entire population, increasing the digital footprint. leading to the proliferation of a lot of fintechs. And this has led to us actually sitting on incredible rich data, large amounts of data. And that's where I think the beginning of AI. However, I still believe that we are a long way to go. Organizations, especially in the impact fintech space, we're not really there in embracing AI due to various constraints. They're more restricted towards basic, regular, traditional banking. However, we do see forays by companies like us into the area of AI.
And we've spoken a bit about data and data security and how obviously vital it is. Data is the new oil, we all know that. When we were speaking to Kirsti Kellyleid earlier on this morning, the former president of Estonia, she was talking about the way they'd got the whole country basically to submit their data so that it could become a digitized society. We spoke about rights within AI and human rights, but also the rights of artificial intelligence. Now, you're talking about vulnerable and underbanked communities in India. So talk to me about the weight of responsibility you feel with handling the data of people who are underbanked and potentially vulnerable as well.
Yeah. So I think that's something which we grapple with on a daily basis. There are two aspects to it. So one is data consent and the privacy of the data that we use. Fortunately for us, a lot of the business models that we worked on, largely on the risk management side, focuses on anonymized transactional data, and as such, explicit customer consent is not required. However, when we move on to consumer-facing apps like the alternate credit scoring model or the robo-advisory engine for wealth management, Sashi wealth management products for the last-mile customers, that is where we have to take customer consent, and we do take customer consent. So here what we have realized is that financial literacy plays a very important role in bridging the digital divide and promoting trust. And that's where we find our network of banking agents, our 30,000 banking agents playing a significant role. So at the time of actually providing that data to us, the customers are made aware that the data is being shared with the organization, what use it would be put to. I wouldn't say we are very great at that because we deal with 50 million customers and rapid enrollment of customers. However, what we are still trying to do our best. The other area, the challenge that we see is selection bias. So when we're working on this right sourcing model for agents, when you increase the data sets and the attributes, bias tends to creep in. So for example, if you include the negative list, and then agents tend to automatically get screened out from the negative list. So when we are trying to actually predict whether the agent that we are going to source is going to commit fraud or not. So when you balance, exclusion of an agent because he belongs, due to selection bias versus the larger public good, we tend to lean towards the public good. So these are some of the ethical dilemmas as an organization that we tend to grapple with. However, what we have seen and what we believe is that we tend to kind of lean towards the larger public good.
It's interesting, an organization having to grapple with the ethical dilemmas. Do you feel supported or restricted by the regulation that exists? Do you think there should be more regulation?
So I think there's a lot of work which has happened from a regulation standpoint, though we do still expect a lot more. So currently India has come out with something which is called an account aggregator network and an open credit enablement network. So that kind of gives us a lot of clarity that yes, you can get access to data of customers, but and customer consent has to be taken. So to that extent, we believe that regulations do protect us. However, what we have seen is that we use a wide range of data, and typically when you're just scaling up, there is no problem, but once you reach a certain size of scale, and then in case customers complain to regulators, we are not sure about the reaction of the regulators. And so we expect a lot more clarity on data usage, data consent, and data privacy. I believe the government and the Central Bank of India, the Reserve Bank, has been working in the right direction, and we see a lot of progress there, which gives us comfort.
Seema, just to wrap up this conversation, please can you tell us what you think a bank is going to look like 10 years from now? We've seen a lot of change in the last 2 years alone.
Yeah, so I'll speak from the perspective of an impact fintech. So when we work with really marginalized customers, when we started off 10 years ago, our customers do not have bank accounts. They were literally saving money under their mattresses. We set up these banking outlets. Customers came to these outlets. They opened bank accounts. They put in money. They would withdraw the money immediately because they were not sure whether they could trust the system. Gradually, over a period of time, they would keep money back in the system, and we have seen savings grow and wealth creation for our customers. However, they are still, we believe that our customers are still focusing on just basic financial transactions. So our vision for, our vision for the future for our neobank that we are creating is a truly financially empowered Indian who can operate a bank account and conduct transactions, is financially literate, make database decisions on savings, wealth creation and wealth protection, all on a few clicks on a smartphone. So the phone kind of becomes a marketplace for a complete suite of financial products designed for low literacy situation, designed for low literacy situation, leading to a pathway to self-reliance for our customers.
Seema Prem, CEO and co-founder of Fear Global. It's been fantastic speaking to you. Thank you very much. A round of applause for Seema.
Thank you very much.
We will be breaking now. Thank you, Seema. You can make your way off, and so can the rest of you. We'll have a short coffee break. We'll be back in here at 4:40 p.m.